Hello and welcome into the Week 13 edition of the Commissioner's Corner and the League of Extraordinary Salesmen. The 49ers got a win against the Browns 26-8. Not usually one of their spots where they're able to get these wins. 10 a.m. early morning on Sunday. Tough spot, but they do get the win. While the Jets stun the Falcons 27-24 and are now suddenly looking like a real football team. However, a congratulations goes out to Matthew, earning this week's high score with a 135.45 to 133.15 victory over myself. Patrick Mahomes got things started on Turkey Day, coming up big, and it was capped off with RJ Harvey getting an overtime touchdown on Sunday night to seal my fate. With that, let's take a look at our worst to first segment brought to you by Matt.
Coach, what do we do? What's the play? Yeah, Coach. You gotta tell us what to do. You're leading the team. What do we do? We gotta do something. Anything? You can't just sleep every time there's a game on. There he goes again. What an embarrassment.
Unfortunately for Matt, it does look like he is still sleeping at the wheel. He has not only done the worst first segment, but also earned the Yuck for Yellow. With that, let's take a look at our other matchups from around the league. Matt has had a rough season, and this game embodies that. When Justin Jefferson and Zay Flowers combined for only 1 point, you know you're doomed, and that's exactly what happened as Jacob gets the easy 98-81.2 victory. Unlike Younghoe Koo on Monday, Dolan's kicker Evan McPherson actually hit the ball and put up 24 points to lead his team with a 134.25 to 104.8 win over Val. Simmons got balanced scoring with 7 players putting up double-digit points to punch his ticket to the playoffs with a 130.15 to 120.9 victory over Jesse. With the return of Jamar Chase and a nice outing by Rashee Rice, Goody continues to play spoiler while also keeping his slim playoff chances alive with a 112.95 to 99.3 win over Nick. And in the game of the week, Tony thought he was in trouble when Amon-Ra went down early in the very first game of the week with an ankle injury. Jeff then took some momentum with Dak getting 24 points in the following game on Thanksgiving. It all came down to Hunter Henry on Monday night, who almost got a touchdown to cap off the comeback. Unfortunately for Jeff, it just wasn't meant to be, as Tony gets the 94.65 to 90.7 win.
Hey guys, another week, I fucking shit the bed. At this point, I've never been outscoring anybody by massive points, so it might be a little cold in this Laredo household, but I do think it's funny that Nick thinks he has any semblance of a chance of me driving that trophy around the corner to him this season. Big hopes, but anyway, it's been real. And hopefully next season, my draft picks can be a little better than what's come to fruition here. But anyway, it's time for your Sitter Sub of the Week segment. The Sit of the Week once again goes to Joseph, this time going with Wan'Dale Robinson, with Jackson Dart returning at QB, gave him only 6.9 points, where he could have gone with almost any other player on his bench. Jameson Williams, Christian Watson, or even Blake Corum to score more than that, needing only 2.3 points to get him the top score and punch his tickets to the playoffs. Yeah, that's a fuck up. The Sub of the Week goes to Goody with the waiver wire pickup of that Jaguars defense. They came up solid against a bad Titans team with 2 fumble recoveries to put up 12 points and help him get that win over Nick. Well, this has been unofficially brought to you by Reach It Deli Midtown, where Aloha is served daily.
Looking ahead to next week, Matthew and Jesse are playing a meaningless game where Matthew is locked up a bye and Jesse cannot get into the playoffs or earn Yuck for Yellow. Jacob has also been eliminated from anything noteworthy, but can absolutely play spoiler here, as Simmons can be as high as the number 2 seed or fall to the number 4 depending on final result. Nick has had a good season, but currently on a 2-game losing streak and needs to get something positive heading into the playoffs, while Dolan can lock up the number 2 seed with a win here. Matt is playing for pride and to not have to do another worst to first video, while Jeff can keep his incredibly narrow playoff hopes alive with a win. Goody would love nothing more than to take down Tony and give himself an outside chance at the playoffs, while Tony is looking to ride that 3-game win streak into the final game of the regular season and get him into the playoffs. And in the game of the week, it's Val going up against myself. Val was 5-0 at one point in October, has fallen on hard times with injuries to Jaden Daniels, Marion Hampton, and Terry McLaurin, and finds herself at 6-7, needing a win and some help to make the playoffs. While I had a different journey this season, I was 1-5 and writing my Yuck for Yellow acceptance speech before I rattled off a 6-game win streak to put me in the playoff mix. Riding Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams, and Breece Hall to make my goal simple: win and I'm in. Let's fucking go, baby. With that, we also have another playoff update brought to you by Goody. Let's see how things are shaping up.
Hey guys, Goody here with the Week 13 playoff picture update with 1 week left to play. Let's see where we stand. Looking at those managers who have secured their spot in the playoffs, Matthew has officially earned his first round bye after his close win over Joseph last week. Dolan is currently in the second position with that first round bye, but officially needs one more win to lock it up, because Simmons is right on his tail and can steal the first round bye away from him with a win and a Dolan loss this week. Nick has managed to secure a spot in the playoffs despite going on a little bit of a losing streak lately and losing to me last week. And Tony has officially made the playoffs as well with his win last week over Jeff. He might end up finished in a mini-way tie for that last playoff spot, but because he's got so many points scored over the course of the season, he'll be in the playoffs this year. And in the only matchup that players that still have a chance to qualify, it's Joseph versus Val in the Battle of the Holy Matrimony. Joseph's got a huge edge on this one. If he manages to win, he'll get in. If he does lose and Val wins, Val still needs to outscore him by 40 points. So a pretty tall order, but not something completely out of the ordinary that we've seen happen this year. So best of luck, Val, to beating your husband and scoring a bunch of points in the process to make the playoffs over Joseph. And in the final category, the Yuck for Yellow shit heap has officially now become a Yuck for Yellow piece of shit. Sorry, Matt. Way to earn that yellow vest with your loss last week to Jacob, and look forward to seeing you in your pretty colors come the draft next year. All right, so for those of you that still have something left to play for, best of luck to you jockeying for the playoff positions. For those of you like me that have nothing left to play for at this point in the season, this post has been brought to you by just enjoying watching football without worrying about your fantasy team sucking. I mean, your fantasy team's still going to suck, but there's nothing left to play for at this point, so enjoy the rest of the season, y'all. See ya.
Thank you, Goody, for once again taking the time and effort to put that together. Looks great. Meanwhile, back to the NFL and the actual games. The 49ers are on a bye, much needed bye this late in the season, get their players healthy and some rest, while we have a very intriguing matchup on Thursday night with the Detroit Lions going up against the Dallas Cowboys. Detroit suddenly finds himself in a must-win mode to even scratch and claw, while the Cowboys have actually put together a remarkable season considering they traded away Micah Parsons to begin the year. Then the Jets take on the Dolphins in the early morning Sunday window. Not great, but can do something with that. Another very intriguing matchup in the NFC is the Chicago Bears taking on the Green Bay Packers. The Bears are currently the number 1 seed in the NFC. However, they do face the Packers twice in the next 3 weeks, as well as the Lions. So a lot to be shaken up there in the NFC North. Then you have the Houston Texans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday night. followed up by the Eagles and the Chargers on Monday. So lots of regular NFL action going on with the final week of the regular season for fantasy football before we turn our attention to the playoffs. But for those that have something to play for, whether it be a bye week or to officially get into the playoffs, best of luck this week, and Commissioner out.